Hey everyone, so it's about that time for me to start potting up my dahlias, and we've done videos on this before, but today I want to do a really short video on how to divide your dahlias. I've just pulled mine out of storage. Here's one right here. We're going to find out how things stored, but more than that, I'm going to talk to you about dividing dahlias. Now, you can divide dahlias in fall, you can divide them in spring. Sometimes you don't have to divide them at all. Sometimes you're going to want to divide them a lot. For people who are selling dahlias or who are looking to really increase your stock, you can divide a dahlia down to a single tuber. That is not how I do it for growing them in my garden because I want big plants. So let's walk through the steps. This is a Zenport scissors. This is what I like to use because it's got a nice point on it. You can use a knife, you can use your hand pruners. So undoubtedly you've heard before about every tuber needing an eye and looking for eyes. It takes a really skilled person to see the eyes before they start swelling, and honestly, I can't see it half the time. But all you need to know is that the eyes are usually held up here where it meets the sort of clumpy bit along the neck. So if you just cut this tuber off right here, you're not going to get anything. But if you divide it from sort of the center here, you will. Now we've got all kinds of growth on the bottom here, but it'll be a good thing to actually get that out of here. So what I'm going to do, honestly, we're just going to go right into the middle of this. And this would be a good one to probably use like a knife on, to be honest. But this should work too. And I'm just going to literally, we're cutting this in half because I know there's plenty of neck and plenty of tuber on both sides of it that I don't have to worry about dividing this and not having an eye come out. Now, one of these is the mother tuber, and that is the original tuber that they grew from. And there's nothing wrong with leaving that on there. It won't hurt, but it does sort of create congestion in there. So in some cases, you might want to think about cutting off the mother tuber. Because there's nothing that it's going to add. In fact, I'm going to take all these kind of crusty looking ones off of here. This might be one too right here. Now if I wanted to divide this again, I could cut right here. And that would give me 3 plants. In fact, I might do that anyway. Because I still don't think that's going to fit in a pot. Okay, here's a nice big clump of melaniflora, and I would like more of this dahlia. So in addition to dividing this to be able to fit it into a pot so I can pre-start it, I'm also dividing it because I want more of this. So the first thing you need to see is that, like I just pulled off a bad tuber. Here's quite a desiccated one down here. It might be okay, but we've got lots of other tubers, so there's no need to take a chance on that. Now again, I don't see eyes yet, but we know where they're going to be. And I think an obvious place to split this one is right between these 2 stems, making sure though that we get enough tubers on this side. Okay, so there's one division. And here's the other one. This is a bit of a mess in here. I will clean this up just so we can kind of see what we're doing. All of these look okay. This one looks, if you can see right here, there's a hole kind of in that one. So we're going to cut that one out too. There we go. Now I've got 2. So this I just pulled out of here. Obviously this is a desiccated tuber. So that's whatever that belonged to. It's obviously not okay. This is Penhill Dark Monarch. This is one of my favorite dahlias. And so I would like more of it. So all of these tubers on this side are all molding. So molding goes away. You can kind of see some mold at the end. Now, if they're just shriveled slightly, I will keep that and it will grow, in my experience, just fine. But in this case, there's actual mold on it, so that's not good. Now the rest of these tubers, like these are slightly shriveled. I'm not worried about those at all. This one is sort of dangling. It's got nothing to offer. We'll clean up these little guys on here just to make room for the clump. This guy is hanging off, he'll go too. So now I'm torn as to whether I want to divide this one or not. I might see how many others did fine. If I feel like I lost some more of these, I might divide this. And I would literally cut this stem right here in half. And that's how I would divide this one if I decided to do that. Something like this one, I wouldn't divide at all, but I will just go through here and just cut out these tubers that don't look quite right. Same with this little guy. This will make a nice clump. Okay, so that's how I sort of pull my dahlias out of storage and divide them, which I do like to do in spring, because even though I'm not seeing them now, it's usually easier to see the eyes, I feel, in spring. They will be there, don't worry about it. They're gonna have eyes unless the tubers rotted or dried out. You will have eyes coming for sure. Now I feel that dividing them down to a size like this is really the best route for most home gardeners, unless you're really trying to bulk up a variety that you have and get a ton out of them. Now of course when you buy tubers, often you'll get a single tuber, and that's of course because people are trying to get the most out of their dahlia investment when they're selling them. Dahlias seem really confusing. They're really not, you guys. Just remember, you got to make sure you're going to have an eye, and the eye is always where it joins onto the stem there, and it will pop out, I promise. All right, if you have questions, leave them in the comments and we'll catch up with them then. All right, have a great day.